Hello everyone and welcome to round 7 of the ARL F1 2013 Season 7 Championship. It's the British Grand Prix, a home circuit for many of the drivers here at the Silverstone circuit. I'm Matthew Gallagher and joining me once again in the commentary box, he's a substitute this week once again, it's Fisi fan.
Yes, in as a sub again for Scott, who unfortunately had some technical problems to come here today. So it's me again commentating alongside Matt, and as you can see, it's a Silverstone circuit, like Matt said, home Grand Prix for many drivers, and it's going to be a fascinating race. I'm sure if the test race we did before the season is anything to go by, Matt.
Yeah, well, with Noble not actually winning the test race and Matty coming home with the victory, it proved a very entertaining race with dynamic conditions as well, with rain coming at the end. So the Season 6 podium, Noble did in fact take the victory there, with xMattyG coming home in second and TRL Limitless in third. Noble also taking the pole position with a 1:28.3. Now let's take a look who takes pole in the qualifying report.
Welcome to the qualifying comparison here at the iconic Silverstone circuit. We've got the two great on-track rivals of TRL Limitless on the left and xMattyG on the right. 7th gear and flat out for turn 1 and turn 2 before braking hard and down into first gear as they now fly through the apex of turn 3, bringing the car to the right on exit to open up this turn 4 as much as possible to ensure they get the best run out of here. Down the Wellington straight, DRS activated after this little kink, and a curves boost to help them arrive into the second sector as quickly as possible. Ahead is a difficult braking zone for Brooklands. The apex of the corner is very late, which can cause the drivers a few wishes if they turn in fractionally late, which Matty has done as they now sweep into Luffield. Testing the patience of the drivers as they search for traction midway around the corner before planting the power down the old pit straight. Curves boost once more on the run to Copse Corner, which in qualifying trim is 100% throttle as they flick the car right now, clip the apex and use all the track on the exit before preparing for an epic section of track, Maggots and Beckett's. The first left-right is completely flat out, 2 downshifts for the next left and an extra downshift for the final part for Matty as they now come down the hanger straight. Another DRS activation zone as we head into the final sector now, reaching top speeds on the approach down to Stone. You can see the two drivers neck and neck at this point of the lap as they now flick the car in very late and praying that it grips, which they do very nicely indeed. On the exit now, just on the run to Vale and Club ahead, which don't pose any trouble for the two drivers on these laps, and as they all cross the line, it will be Limitless just edging out Matty by 12 1/1000ths of a second, and they will line up on the second row together for the start of the race. Back to the main commentators now for the full qualifying classifications.
Thanks for that, Harry. Now looking at the full classifications for the Season 7 British Grand Prix, and Noble 299 on a familiar pole position once again with a pole time of 1:28.290. Just ahead of TRL McAuley, impressing once again in his Caterham to take second place on the grid, only 3/500ths of a second behind Noble. On the second row, like you saw in the quality comparison, we have TRL Limitless in the Toro Rosso, just ahead of xMattyG in the second Williams. The third row sees Randy McScrandy in the lead McLaren take 5th place, ahead of last season's GP2 champion Jason 97 F1 with an impressive qualifying for him to take 6th place on the grid. Then we have our first non-British drivers with Fisi 91, the Norwegian, taking 7th place on the grid just ahead of big shot player the Greek driver in the Ferrari. Then on row 5, SE Racing Team in the Caterham takes 9th place ahead of the Irishman RickeeyC in the second McLaren, a disappointing qualifying from him compared to his usual standards. 1 second off pole position we have TRL Minty in the second Toro Rosso, the man who made his debut last time out in Canada. Then IProX Callum in the second Force India in 12th. The last driver to set a proper lap time was Mazy CZ, and he will start in 13th place in Sauber. Then Ryan L83 is classified in qualifying in 14th place, but unfortunately he disconnected in qualifying and could not get back in time for the race start, so he will not be on the grid. Then at the back, TraceMe92 and the Contadins both carry over grid penalties from the previous race, and so have a tough job ahead if they want to get any points on the board today. All drivers set their competitive lap time on the option tyres for this qualifying, but Mazy CZ, TraceMe92 and the Contadins will start a race on primes, so we'll see how that works out in the race for them. Can Noble take his 7th win of the season, or can anyone stop his winning run? It's time to head out to the British Grand Prix race.
It's race time, it's the British Grand Prix. It's xMattyG and FisiFan91 commentating for you today. There's 62% chance of rain. It's light cloud at the moment. There's sun in the sky, but unfortunately for the drivers, Fisi, there's rain in the air.
Yeah, it could well be a very spicy race as far as the rain is concerned. 62% as you said, and if the weather is going to do anything like we did in the test race before the season, it's really going to spice up the action. But regardless of what the weather does, I'm sure we will have a very exciting race ahead.
With many drivers wanting to win as it's their home Grand Prix. Noble on pole position, Macaulay a brilliant second. Limitless and Matty behind. There's 5 lights now, and away we go for the British Grand Prix. The drivers are away, and it looks like most of them have got a reasonable start off the grid. Now coming down towards turn 1, Randy looking slightly round the outside of Matty, and now on board with Ricky, getting right behind Big Shots Ferrari, and then running wide onto the grass. Now cutting to Limitless in 3rd place, having a slight look at Macaulay, and now Matty having a look at Limitless towards this left-hander, and it looks like Macaulay's gone wide, and he's losing positions left, right and centre, and he's down to 5th now, 6th place. Can Fisi take advantage as well, coming down towards another left-hander under the UBS sign now, where Lewis Hamilton had his rear puncture, I'm pretty sure, and now Mazy in 14th place now, so not having a great start, and Ricky down to 11th now, so after running wide onto the grass and now running wide once again, he is also losing places hand over fist, and is now down to 12th, and actually slightly flying there as well. But apart from that, it looks like it was an incident-free first few corners, Fizzy.
Yeah, very action-packed regardless of no incidents so far. And we've been a few positions dropped for RickeeyC as he's on board at the moment, following Callum now to go through the Mags and Beckers complex. Callum ran slightly wide. Rickey's had to back off. There's 2 cars on the grass there. I think we might just have had some kind of incident at the back there, but now Matty's challenging Limitless down this hangar straight. Limitless blocks him quite aggressively there. Matty's had to back out of it and stay behind for now. Let's see if we can have a go into the final chicane at the end of the first lap. He's thinking about it, but it didn't quite make the move. But now there's 2 Saubers side by side. Contadins going up the inside of Mazy into the final chicane. He's made that move stick. Mazy under pressure from Trace United 2 from behind as well. He's dropped quite a bit of time to Contadins on the exit, and there's cars everywhere back here. You can see RickeeyC has dropped to even further places. I'm sure we'll get a replay of what happened there. And Matty's gone very close to almost hit Limitless. There might have been slight touch, which it seems as Limitless went wide, and now Matty's done the undercut on the next corner. He's gone up the inside of Limitless up to 2nd place. This could be crucial for the race. Limitless now trying to have a look at the inside maybe, or is he choosing to stay behind? He's come very close again. Maybe another little bit of slight contact, and now Randy wants to dispossess that place of Limitless. It looks like he's going to do that now, coming through Brooklands. And he's done it. So Randy up to 3rd. Limitless losing 2 positions in the space of 2 corners there, Matt.
Yeah, brilliant driving from Randy. Very opportunistic, going up the inside there. Not particularly, or not usually, an overtaking spot, but Randy making good use of that and up into 3rd place. And now we have a replay of Noble from pole position, getting a good start up into rich fuel mixture, and covering off Macaulay just about, who looked like he got a slightly better run actually down towards turn 1. And this is RickeeyC going wide onto the grass, and that would not have helped his braking into this right-hander, and he was very tentative indeed, and that is where he lost 1 and potentially 2 positions at this point. But the Force India's run wide, and therefore he's been able to regain 11th place, I think it was at the time. This is Limitless having a look at Macaulay running wide, and just completely, it looks like the Caterham driver just completely missed his braking point. And then there's 2 cars on the grass there. It's Essie and Minty, and then Ricky hitting the back of iProX Callum and going down to last place it is. So not a great start for Ricky, and also not for Limitless, who's lost 2 positions from 2nd place that he was in. And Limitless actually the favourite coming towards in Silverstone. And look at that, 4 abreast going down Hanger Straight. Gosh, there's me talking about Limitless, and there's 4 cars going down the same straight. That is absolutely incredible. Not great driving because they're all driving in a straight line, but it's pretty nice to see, isn't it, Fizzy?
It is. It was quite. It was a bit of a chain reaction in terms of the incident that happened back there. I'm not sure. Well, the cars who rejoined the track should have maybe been a bit more cautious there, but RickeeyC certainly didn't get anything from that. And now we have Trace, who is getting a bit of a sidepod glitch spin there, and he's dropped down to last place. There we can see it from Trace's view here. What happened? Maybe a slight tap from behind, and it touches the sidepod of Mazy and weirdly spins off and down to last place. So it's not worked out well for the Red Bull driver, Trace there. But now we got side-by-side action again with Limitless kind of backing off there. It looked like he might have had a chance of passing Randy off the inside, but it chose to back off and stay behind. And now we got Mazy CZ challenging RickeeyC for 11th. So RickeeyC has managed to gain a few positions back after that incident. And Fisi now following quite a train of cars ahead. McAuley and Force India of Jason up to 5th actually, so Jason is having a good start here. And Randy McSwaney holding on to Matt. So, and it's worth noting as well that Noble up ahead has started to create a little bit of a gap down to 2nd. And now McAuley up the inside of Jason, side by side. Fisi very close as well. Who will come out on top with this little scrap? Jason, McAuley still side by side. Looks like McAuley has got a better exit and powered ahead of Jason. And now Fisi using Curse and DRS. I'm not sure if Jason has DRS. He probably will. I think all these have. But Fisi is looking up the inside, braking later, locking up slightly, very close to hitting McAuley. But he makes that move stick on Jason to go up to 6th place. Even though Jason now trying to hold it around the outside, I'm not sure if that will be possible. He's still hanging on. Fisi didn't get the best exit. As you can see, McAuley was pulling away ahead. Jason actually still looking around the outside, but Fisi has the inside going through cops now. So he should have that position covered, and he does indeed, Matt.
Yeah, good driving from Fisi, up into 6th place now. Looks like 3 laps in, and the tyres are around, or sort of nearly orange at the moment. So the tyres are going off quite quickly. Well, the options are at least. Anyway, it should be a 2-stop race for the drivers here today, with pitting in the next few laps, I'm pretty sure, as Limitless is now challenging Randy and back up into 3rd place. So Limitless, as I was saying before, 4 drivers decided to go down the same straight side by side. Limitless is in fact, was seen as the favourite going into this race, as Mazy and Minty are going side by side through Stowe. As Limitless has actually done, or he says himself, over 1,000 laps on this track. And that is just an incredible feat if I've ever heard it, to be honest, because I don't think I've actually played 1,000 laps on this game. So that's pretty impressive, and you've got to say that Limitless probably has the best pace out of everybody. Saying that, xMattyG sets the fastest lap of a 32.1 as Ricky comes into the pits on lap 4. So the drivers are thinking about, obviously, rain is in the air, 62% chance of rain. So that's quite a high percentage, and you have to think that it's going to rain at some point in this race. It's just a matter of when. And some drivers might be gambling and maybe going for an undercut on the drivers ahead to then hopefully think that maybe the rain will come a little bit sooner, so then they won't have to pit an extra time. But out front at the moment, Noble and Matty, the 2 Williams drivers, and it looks like Matty's just about managing to hold on to Noble at the moment. And as you said earlier, Noble was putting out a gap, but Matty seems to have just about managed to maybe keep that station, or maybe even start to close in on the world champion. And we'll have a look as we're about to come over to the split line now. Whether he'll get DRS, yes he will. So Matty's within DRS zone, which means he'll be able to catch up to Noble. And Limitless has actually fallen out of DRS range after fighting with Randy. So at the moment, it's the 2 Williams out in front with Limitless just behind. But Noble's diving into the pits now, so Noble is going for the undercut on the other drivers. Because I don't think lap 4, or the end of lap 4, is really the the optimal time to pit on a completely dry race. But Noble gambling, as he knows that there are faster drivers behind, as a lot of the wheel drivers say that this track in particular favours the pad users. And I don't know if you have any opinion on that, Fisi.
Well, I'm never driven with a pad, so I'm not really too sure how the difference is, but that's what people are saying, and I'll just have to go with that. But as you said, there's quite a few people pitting at the end of lap 4, despite the tyres. Not really, the tyre wear on this track isn't really that bad, so you could maybe go to like 5 or 6 at the start on the options. But a few drivers already pitted to try and get the undercut, like you said. And it's worth noting that Contadins, Trace and Mazy started the race on the prime tires, and they might be looking to, well, they will certainly be hoping that the rain will come very soon, so that they won't even have to make a pit stop before the rain comes. But it's surely going to have to come quite soon for that to happen, because the primes probably go around 10 or 11 laps before they start being quite bad. But we're now looking at Contadins, who is right behind a bit of a scrap between SE Racing Team and Force India of Jason, and SE is running a little bit wide, and now Contadins trying to pounce on that. SE on options, obviously, those tires will started to fall off by this point, whereas Contadins is on the more durable prime tires, and we'll have a little bit of an advantage at this point of the race. Now side by side through this corner, and SE backing up because he's going into the pit lane, as is Jason just ahead. So Contadins will actually, I think Contadins, actually no, Limitless is staying out, so Contadins will be moving up to second. Limitless going longer than Randy and Matty, who are both in the pit lane at the moment. Here we go, Randy first in, McLaren crew getting to work, and it's a good 3.1 pit stop for him, and a 3.2 pit stop, slightly longer for Matty, but also a solid stop from the Williams boys. We saw SC there getting out just... No, that's McAuley actually. So SC had to queue behind McAuley slightly there, losing a little bit of time in the catering box, but I'm sure that would have been quite fine. Matty now coming out, and there's Noble. So Noble, oh, tiny lag spike there I think for Matt, but luckily for him not too much time lost for that. But Noble has gained a little bit of time on Matt by pitting a lap earlier, and Matt might now find himself out of the DRS zone, which will make it even harder for him to keep up with Noble at the front.
Yeah, I've been hearing from the drivers that tyre wear is quite crucial around here, and so although Noble does have the undercut at the moment, the idea is for the drivers going longer, especially Limitless going all the way to the end of lap 6 on his options, is that the prime tyres, if you are, say, a lap or two fresher than the car ahead, then you will have a significant advantage towards the end of the stint especially. So although Noble has a bit of a gap now, it might well come down throughout this stint, as Noble has one lap longer than Matty and 2 laps longer than Limitless. And I wouldn't be surprised if Limitless actually gets undercut by Randy once again, because I think he came into the pits, well, he was in 3rd place when Randy came into the pits in 4th. So I wouldn't be surprised if Limitless comes out behind Noble, Matty and Randy, because I don't think there's anyone particularly behind them that could be challenging Limitless at the moment. We'll have a look. Here comes Noble's just at the fastest lap of a 31.4, so he's pushing on. There's Randy. So and McAuley in fact has gone past, and Fisi's getting very close indeed. So Limitless, he's tried to push his strategy and keep his tyres fresh, but that also means he's now going to have to overtake McAuley and Randy to get back up into the position that he was in, which was a net 3rd place. We now have Contadins, who's in 1st position at the moment, and really he's going to be praying for rain, as you said earlier, Fizzy. A very good point is the fact that these drivers really are praying for rain now, the prime tyre runners who haven't stopped yet, because really, I mean, it really needs to be raining about now, because with this game it takes so long for the track to actually get it wet enough for intermediates that it can't really just rain and then you're ready for inters in 2 laps. It takes about 5 or 6 laps almost. So these guys are going to either have to try and push their prime tyres, or they're going to have to think at some point this isn't going to work and we're going to have to dive into the pits. But it's about a 20-25 second pit stop here. It's a very long pit stop, so the drivers will be very reluctant to go into the pits. And who's that going? Is anyone going to the pits? It looks like
Minty,
it is.
I think, yeah.
Minty the tank going into the pits. So he's decided, well, he must have been on options if he's going on lap 7.
Yeah, he's coming in quite late on this option actually, at the end of lap 7, so he's pushed him really hard.
Wow.
So yeah, and that means there's now Sauber 1 and 2, Contadins leading ahead of Mazy. Obviously those haven't stopped yet, so if the rain comes quickly now, it might be Sauber 1-2, but I don't think that will be the case, because the rain, well, there's still not any clouds in the air, to be honest. But what was that? Was that a little bit of a lag spike from McAuley, I think? And now Fisi is locked up, and McAuley is nowhere to be seen. So I think TRL McAuley has had a lag spike and dropped from ahead of Limitless to behind Fisifan now, down to 9th place. That is not what he would have wanted. Obviously McAuley has shown quite a bit of good pace in some of the recent races, particularly at Bahrain when he was leading for half of the races. So, but Hare is not having his best race, even though showing good pace. But now we're looking back to Ricky, who is struggling in this race. Obviously, Ricky, one of the guys who have had podium finishes this season, but this is not looking good for him. Still outside the points, down in 12th place, and now behind Jason. Seemingly can't get past him at the moment, but very close. So we'll see if he might have a go at Jason in the DRS zone coming up after the Maggots and Beckett's section that we're about to head into. He's certainly putting it up the ridge, so he's probably going to go for it. Tiny bit of a corner cut there, but I'm sure he didn't mean to do that. Jason has pulled out a little bit of a gap actually through that section, so he's driving well as well, Jason. And let's see if we can get close enough to go up the inside. He certainly can, gaining quite a bit of time with DRS. And now up the inside, and got that position on Jason, but still outside the points. So Ricky will be looking to push on and hopefully for him try to get into the points before the end of this race, Matt.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, he's really not an 11th place, or usually an 11th place runner. It's just when he doesn't practice that much that he tends to be a little bit slower and down the field. But it's not great to see Ricky down in 11th, but maybe he'll be able to push his way forward, especially as it looks like it's getting darker now. And I think the rain may well be imminent, as Jason is all over the back of Ricky at the moment. But well, going through Maggots and Beckets, I don't think it's a particularly good overtaking spot, so I think he'll have to wait for the DRS zone, just as Limitless has here, and he's in the slipstream of Randy now, and he's going to have to go to the outside down towards Stowe. This is going to be a brilliant overtaking move if he can do it, and there's side-by-side wheel banging slightly. Randy's pushed him wide, and Limitless has backed out of it, so Limitless not wanting to put his car on the edge, because he's already backed out once going down the hangar straight, and he's backed out again going towards the chicane, so Limitless doesn't want to throw away his chances of getting on the podium or potentially challenging the Williams drivers if his tyres stay intact. But so Limitless is just kind of taking it as cautiously as possible without trying to ruin his race, because he wants a good result here. Silverstone is his strongest track, as you probably guessed, with 1,000 laps. And is that rain in the air that you see, Fizzy?
Ooh, certainly seeing a bit of drizzle now, as Noble is passing Trace, with Trace on quite worn tyres at this point. So it's an easy move for Noble, but it's drizzling now, so the rain is indeed coming now, and that could be quite crucial, as Matty is about to pass Trace as well.
Looks like, sorry, Fizzy, it looks like Trace has actually held up Noble quite a bit, because Matty was around 2.5 seconds behind Noble, and now he's had to pass Trace, who they're technically fighting for position now because it's raining. And Noble's lost a heap amount of time to Matty, who's also on the fresher tyres. So Noble may well come under pressure in the next few laps. And now we're going to see a replay of the Sauber driver Mazy coming under pressure from... Who's that? That's Tracy92. So these two are battling because they're both yet to stop. Mazy's coming to the pits. He can see the rain, but his tyres are not lasting at all. And this is now a replay of Fisi, and who is that? That is Macaulay. So Macaulay now going past Fisi after his humongous lag spike. I feel sorry for the guy. He's literally lost about 7 seconds with that lag spike. Some people lose about half a second and start moaning. That guy loses 7 seconds. So I guess a lot of people will be counting their lucky stars that they don't get that lag spike. But we're now coming back on board to Limitless again, trying to get past Randy McScrandy, and he's going to have to do exactly the same thing in towards Stowe now, going round the outside. Can he make it stick this time? Yes, he can. Up into 5th place. Well, what is technically 5th place at the moment, but I think it'll be
Randy's holding
place.
on.
And Randy holding it round the outside, and now the inside. Randy and Limitless getting very close indeed. Wheel banging, sideboard banging, every banging you can possibly think of. But Limitless is now using some of his curves down towards turn 1. Randy's sticking it still up the inside. They're now side by side going through turn 1 and 2. Now down towards turn 3, the right-hander. Can Randy outbrake him? Yes, he can. Randy's pushing, well not pushing, but just running Limitless out of space. And then Limitless has hit the side of Randy's side pod. They've both just about managed to get away with it, but Limitless has not got past Randy despite all of his efforts throughout that entire last sector and first sector of this lap. And Randy not giving up the place, and I'm pretty much sure that was borderline fair. A little bit of too much wheel banging, as it's supposed to be a non-contact sport, but I guess the fans like to watch that kind of thing. So Randy holding on to what is technically a third place if everybody ahead pits for another set of dry tyres. And Randy still pushing on now in 5th place, with Limitless catching already onto the back of the McLaren. And Trace is in 4th at the moment, yet to stop. Driving reasonably well. He decided to go on the prime tyres at the start of the race, and he's gone 12 laps at the moment, so his tyres will be particularly red, I am sure. Matty in the DRS zone of his teammate once again. Limitless also in the DRS zone of Randy, going down towards Stowe. Randy going in on the inside defensive again. Can Limitless do it a 3rd time? Lucky. No, he can't. He's run wide, and he's lost even more time. Limitless is having a very frustrating race, where he would have been hoping for a very easy race at the front, as he does have the pace advantage, especially in the race of the drivers ahead of him due to the excessive practicing. But Mazy going up into 14th place there, and now Matty right behind his teammate Noble, Fizzy.
Yeah, very close now indeed. So, and there's a DRS zone coming up. Obviously, no intermediate tyres on the cars yet, which means that DRS is still available. Can Matty make this DRS straight count? Noble's got a good exit, so it might not be close enough. But let's see now. He's saving a bit of curse, Matty is. So but it then he's coming very close through the corner, not quite close enough, as Noble stays ahead. And you can see the Sauber of the Contadins not far ahead as well. He stayed out on his prime tire. He's yet to stop in this race, and that's why he's leading. So he's certainly going for it. Oh, and actually, no, Matty's going for it as well. Up the inside of Noble through Cops there. Noble not defending it too hard, because they're obviously teammates. They don't want to hit each other. But Matty's made a good move on the corner where you don't usually overtake. So that's impressive stuff from him. And Limitless is now ahead of Randy. And you got to say, Randy has been frustrating Limitless. quite a bit in this race. Defending his position well, you gotta say, but Limitless, like you said earlier, Matt, he's one of the quickest drivers around here, and he would be looking to be closer to Matt, and Noble Randy's now getting back ahead of him! That must be so frustrating. Limitless just can't get away from Randy at all, as Noble's locked up slightly behind Matty, and they're both coming up very close to the contadins now. I'm sure contadins will try to stay out now until the rain comes, the conditions is ready for inters, as Trace has to run wide there. His tires have certainly fallen off the cliff. He's doing like contadins, trying to hold on, but his tires seem to be in a worse state than the Sauber driver at the moment. So Trace is dropping down the field, and he really needs these conditions changed to intermediate weather very soon. So let's see if Matty and Noble can navigate the Sauber cleanly, as I'm sure they're going to try to lose as little time as possible getting past. And Matty's up the inside, and Noble up the inside as well. Contadins not bothering to defend too much because of the tire advantage that the Williams drivers have got. And now Limitless once again try to get around Randy, but Randy holding on. Good defensive driving. They've been banging wheels a bit early, like you said, but both quite aggressive, but also just within what is clean. They're obviously both clean drivers, as long as they can control their actions. And Limitless, yes, obviously when the intermediate tires comes onto the cars, there will be no more DRS, so Limitless will probably try to make use of this DRS zone now to try and get past Randy once and for all. Let's see if we can do it. Noble certainly not close enough to Matty to get past him on that straight. Randy going defensive once again, as we've done many times earlier. And now he's slightly further ahead, so the Limit is not going to run wide and try to hold it around the outside. But it's just that McLaren is so wide. Limitless, I'm sure, has never seen a wider McLaren than that, Matt.
No, Limitless's race is just going down the pan at the moment, as Randy is holding on to a very solid 4th place at the moment. And this is a replay of Randy and Limitless going side by side with Trace as well, 3 abreast down Wellington Straight. And this is where Randy... oh no, this is where Limitless actually got past, and then Randy retook the spot down Hanger Straight. So I'm sure Limitless was probably pulling a few party poppers, to be honest, as he got past Randy, but then Randy decided to save his entire bar of Kers. And this is a replay of Noble a lap ago trying to get back past his teammate Matty in the DRS zone, but he couldn't do it, and that was just before they got past Contadins, in fact. And this is now Limitless behind Randy once again, and getting very close to, who is that? That's a Force India, is that? No, it's not, it's a Sauber, sorry, of the Contadins. And that's Randy going up the inside, and Limitless as well. Contadins is completely and utterly hopeless on those tyres. 15 laps on the primes. I'm surprised that they have not exploded by now, as we've seen in real life, so that's quite ironic. But look at that, he can't even turn into the corner. He really should have pitted for another set of tyres, because, well, actually, no, to be fair, I think he's made them work quite well. But Tracy92 struggling quite a bit. And look at this, Noble in 2nd place has completely lost touch with his teammate Matty. Will this be the first time that we actually see another person than Noble on the top step, as we have seen the entirety of this season so far? Noble struggling at the moment on his strategy, but I'm sure if the rain starts coming down, then he will start to claw back on his teammate. But Randy and Limitless going side by side once again. Limitless down towards this left-right chicane. Can he make it stick? There's slight contact with Randy. Randy still holding on to 3rd place. This is brilliant defensive driving from Randy McScrandy in the McLaren. And Contadins has finally decided to come into the pits, but it's kind of too early, I think. It's not wet enough. And Noble's come into the pits as well for a set of inters. This is crucial for his race. Is it wet enough? This is the crucial thing for Noble now, because if it is not wet enough, his tyres will be completely destroyed. Contadins has been held in the pits for 5.3 seconds. There is everybody coming into the pits. These are the guys that pitted on lap 4. They cannot go any longer without losing too much time. So this means Limitless will look quite good. As I say, Limitless, we now cut to him, who goes up into 2nd place. He finally gets past Randy McScrandy and up into what is 2nd place at the moment. And Limitless is probably going to look quite good at the moment, because he's going to be able to push his tyres all the way through to when it starts getting very wet indeed. And now this is on board with Fisi in 5th place on his prime tyres. His front left is looking very dodgy indeed. This is Noble. Let's have a look. How is the Williams handling with these inters? They're slightly, well, they're quite understeering, and he's kind of sliding, and it's really... No, he can't get on the power. Noble can't get on the power, so really... it's really not into weather at the moment, but the saving grace for him will be that the prime tyres that these guys are on are so worn that I'm sure fresh inters will not be too far off the pace of dry tyres. And as Fisi dives into the pits, he was very much deciding whether or not to come into the pits there, but he has decided he's seen enough raindrops and he is going to come in for inters. And it looks like lots of people are coming in for inters now. And let's have a look. We've got Randy in for a set of intermediate tyres on lap 17. 3.1 second pit stop. Fisi in as well, being held slightly, 3.8 seconds. And it looks like Matty has carried on by the looks of things, and so has Limitless. And who's that in the pits? That's Mazy coming in for a set of inters as well. So most drivers have gone on to the inters with... Oh no, Matty is on the... Oh no, this is Noble, sorry. I'm getting confused. These are Williams drivers. But Noble is on the inters, and as these conditions worsen, Noble will start to get in the zone.
Yeah, you can see the gap there from Randy up to Noble. Noble probably have a couple of seconds, so he hasn't lost too much time by pitting a little bit too early for intermediates. But although to be fair, Randy was quite a bit behind actually, so Noble has lost time certainly. But pretty much everyone, apart from Matty and Limitless now, have gone into the pits for inters. So you can see this rain is starting to form on the track, but it's still not really, it's still not optimal condition for the inters. There's no puddles forming yet, so as you can see, Matt here still going quite well on the slick tires, although now he's starting to understeer quite well. So I'm guessing he's going to come into the pits now, and it is indeed. So Matty, let's see what Limitless is going to do. Oh, Limitless is staying out for another lap. That could be quite crucial. You never know on this game when the the switchover points between slicks and inters could come. So if Limitless is really unlucky, that happens very quickly now, and he won't be able to complete the lap properly. But we will just have to wait and see. As Matty is putting the inters on the car, good 3.1 second stop again from the Williams boys. So let's see now where Noble is going to be in relation to Matty. That is quite interesting as well. Noble is only on the final corner. I'm looking on the minimap there. So he's got a full straight between him and Matt now. Here comes Matt out of the pit lane. He'll certainly be ahead of Noble by quite a margin, I think. Certainly a few seconds. So that has worked out well for Matty to have pitted a lap later than Noble on the first round of stops, staying out a bit longer to go before going on the inters, and that has gained Matty time. So a better strategy for him than Noble at the moment, as Ricky is now going up the inside.
Ricky's still on dries.
Oh Jesus, yeah, I didn't notice that. that is quite interesting, because I swear he was in the pits not long ago, so I don't know if that was a mistake from his pit crew to put on dry tires. Maybe he wanted the inters, but he got the dries. Or maybe he just didn't think it was wet enough and couldn't stay out any longer. But he's on the dries, so that is not going to work out for him, because he's now going to have to pit one more time, unlike the guys he's battling with. Because even if he gets ahead of Minty now, Minty can stay out, whereas Ricky is going to have to go into the pits again. So Ricky might just drop back out of the points again, even though he's done well to fight his way back into it at the moment. So, but here comes Limitless into the pits. It's going to be crucial to see where he's in relation to Matty. There's a car coming round the final corner there, but that was a back marker because Limitless didn't lose a position. And now it's down to the Torosso boys to do a good stop. It is a 3.1, just like Matty, exactly the same time in the pit stop as Matty, so that's not going to be a factor then. Unlike previous races where Limitless have had very poor luck in the pit lane, now he's had reasonable pit stops, luckily for him. So, but Matty and Noble already had actually. So Limitless have actually lost time by staying out longer. Randy, oh there, Randy back ahead of Limitless.
I bet he is absolutely just sick of a silver and red livery, because I think the only thing he's seen the entire race is a back of a McLaren, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty much. And yeah, Fisi he's had a quite calm and cautious race, hasn't he, Fisi? Quite consistent race, not too much action for him, but he's up there in 6th place, even after making the stop for Inter, so he's looking good for some points today, actually. And RickeeyC then made his additional stop, which I'm sure he didn't really want to do, and now Matt is back down to 13th.
He is, Ricky, 13th place, not Not a great race at all. I think a race to forget for him as the rain is now coming down. You can see on Limitless's screen there is moisture galore, and he is right behind Randy and Noble as well. Noble having to pit a lap earlier than Randy and 2 laps earlier than Limitless. Looks like he is struggling already with 6 laps remaining. Noble is under pressure at the moment as Limitless is now going to try and get past Randy as soon as he can, and he has, straight past Randy. No messing about, no, oh gosh, maybe. Randy's coming straight back up the inside, is he? But he won't be able to get onto the traction. Limitless, slightly fresher tyres, up into 3rd place, and Limitless has finally dispatched of Randy for, hopefully for his sake, the final time this race. And his next target is Noble 2909. We don't usually say this, as Noble usually dominating out in front and winning every single race. He is now under pressure from Limitless. Matty is out in front in this race by about 4 or 5 seconds, and Noble is going to have to do his teammate a favour here because Limitless is absolutely flying. You can see he's right behind Noble already. He's got +1 lap of fuel. He's got everything to catch the leader and catch Noble, and he's going to have a look round the outside of Stowe. Can he make it stick there side by side? He's been pushed slightly wide by Noble, but he's made it stick up into 2nd place. Limitless and Noble slightly looking around the outside, but he has nothing to defend with. His tyres, as you can see, are already orange, and Noble could only keep him behind for a few corners, and Limitless is now in 2nd place. The man who absolutely loves this track. He would just go and do this for fun all day, every day if he could. And he is now in 2nd place, and there is one more position for him. And maybe he'll be able to get his maiden ARL F1 victory, but he is going to have to catch Matty, who is 4 or 5 seconds down the road. But he will have fresher tyres, and he said himself before the race, tyre wear is key. And he has certainly made that work with his strategy. But Noble's going to have a look down towards his left-hander. Can he make it stick? And he's going to look up the inside, but Limitless with the pure grip has managed to keep it, and Noble tried to do his teammate a favour, or maybe himself a favour by getting past Limitless, but he couldn't. And Randy is now all over the back of Noble as well, and he will have no curves to defend. And we are now on board with the race leader Matty with 5 laps to go. And I'm sure Matty is pretty nervous at this point, as he hasn't been in this position for quite a while.
Yeah, the question now is if Matt can hold on, or if Limitless on the 1 lap pressure tyres can catch him. Obviously we know Limitless has great pace around there, but has he got that much of a pace advantage on Matt to catch him in 5 laps? That's a big question. As Noble finding himself in an unusual position, under pressure now from he's been passed already from Matty and Limitless, now under pressure from Randy, obviously on because he pitted on lap 15 I think. And whereas Randy will have had at least 1 lap fresher tyres now. Limitless obviously had 3 lap fresher tyres on Noble. That's why he got past quite well, and now pulling away a treat from Noble. Limitless is. And Randy all over Noble. So unusual position, I'm pretty sure now, unless something very serious happens out front, Noble will, well, it will be the first race this season which Noble may not win. So and there's a car behind as well, 5th place. TRL McAll is getting in the action as well. We haven't seen too much of him after the lag spike he had earlier in the race, but he's done great, shown great pace to fight back, and now he's actually got a chance of a podium if he can get past Randy and Noble. They're all in a bit of a trio driving along at the moment. Randy's still behind Noble off the straight there. So Noble just gonna try his best to hang on despite having a tyre disadvantage there. He's a good driver, of course, in terms of defending positions as well. He's obviously great when he's out in front and just having the pure pace to stay ahead. But he's also great in wheel-to-wheel racing. So I'm sure Noble will do his best, but Randy has the advantage. And now going through Magister Beckett, very close together still, right on Noble's tail. And let's see if we can have a move down Hanger Straight. Gonna have to use the rest of his curse, and he does, Randy. And he's got in the slipstream as well. Noble's leaving a gap on the inside. Now Randy's having a look. Can he brake later and make the move stick? He can indeed. Very good move there from Randy to take 3rd place. Can he get on the podium for the first time actually, Randy, since Malaysia? He's only had 1 podium finish this season. Now he might get another. As McAuley will also try to look at yeah, McAuley actually a rookie this season, moved up from GP2 and now challenging the champion from last season, Noble 2909. So I'm sure McAuley is quite excited at the moment.
the champion of last 4 seasons.
Yeah.
So Noble is under pressure, as you've said, and he is now coming under pressure from TRL Macaulay. His front left tyre has absolutely gone, and he's got 3 more laps. So Noble could be looking at maybe something worse than 4th place at the moment, as this is now Ricky running straight into the gravel. His race is going from bad to worse, and he is out of the points, and he is absolutely nowhere near 10th place either. So I'm pretty sure he has just given up, 13 seconds behind Callum after his extra pit stop. So yeah, a race to forget for him, as we're now on board with Matty. The gap is now come down to 2.2 seconds already. So Limitless is absolutely flying. He's dropped the group behind him by an absolute mile, and Limitless is well and truly going for the victory here. And it's the only thing he was his target for this race was to finish first, nothing else, and that is what he is going for. Despite being held up by Randy for countless laps, his pure pace around this track has shown, well, it is being demonstrated right now. He is catching the leader, xMattyG, and there's going to be one hell of a fight in these last few laps. And another fight is going to be happening very soon. Is Noble and Macaulay. Macaulay getting a brilliant run through turn 1 compared to Noble. And Noble's actually locked up slightly, and now Macaulay's going to look round the outside. Remember, this is where actually Macaulay missed his braking point and went straight off into the grass. No such problems this time, and Macaulay's going to have DRS. Noble has no traction whatsoever, and Macaulay, I am assuming, is going to just breeze past him. But then Noble is defending with his KERS and putting it into, well, down into standard fuel mixture now, but I'm assuming it was in rich. And Randy is dropping Noble as well, so it looks like Noble, for the first time since Spa last season, is not going to finish on the podium. And this is, well, not great news for him, but obviously quite a welcome sight for people that get bored of the same person winning, as we do read your comments. And Fisi Fan now in 6th place, 7.3 seconds behind Macaulay in 5th. And you can see his front left is red and gone, and you can imagine what Noble's front left tyre looks like. And I'm pretty sure it's on fire, despite the fact it is raining. Contadins in 7th place. He's made his strategy work this race after staying out for 15 or 16 laps on the primes. He very much made those tyres work, as Macaulay is now going to have a look right up the inside, is he? There's slight contact between Noble and Macaulay, and I'm sure Macaulay's going to have to give that position back, which he does. So Noble maintains 4th position for now, but he is pretty much a sitting duck on those tyres. They are just gone. There is no grip left in them whatsoever. But as I was saying with Contadins, he has made his strategy work, and he is up into some points paying position. Unfortunately down to 8th now, as Minty is up into 7th.
Great move that from Minty.
Yes, a great move by Minty. Was that round the outside at Stowe?
It was indeed.
I think that's what Limitless did as well. So yeah, Minty following in the footsteps of Limitless. And oh yeah, we forgot to point out that although you probably all know who Limitless is, he's actually changed his name back to TRL Limitless, and it's not TRL Monster anymore. He's having some sort of identity crisis, I'm sure. But anyway, Noble again coming under pressure from Macaulay in the DRS zone, but he is saving his KERS for the hanger straight, which I'm sure, Fizzy, is going to be the place where Macaulay does it.
Yeah, it might well be, because obviously only a lap and a half left to do it, and the hanger straight is the best overtaking spot on the track. Although he's getting very close out the exit of that corner. Noble still holding on to the 4th place. Like you mentioned, first time, it's looking like the first time Noble will be outside the podium since Belgium last season. And that's something like 14 races ago. Oh Jesus! And now there's a bit of a lag there. And now it's suddenly side by side. I don't know how that happened, but suddenly Macaulay and Noble side by side, and Macaulay's managed to go ahead, coming into Mazy CZ. That was an unexpected move, but he's done it before we reached the hanger straight, and now even started to pull out a bit of a gap. So Noble won't be too happy with that, because was a bit of a lag involved in terms of Macaulay suddenly getting alongside. Surprising Noble probably a bit there, but Noble, a clean driver, as always, let in Macaulay go ahead, but not making any contact to make just stay behind. So and then we had the 14. I didn't actually see which 14 that was passing. No,
I didn't either, but more focusing on the battle for the leaders. It's the final lap of this race, and Limitless has Matty in his sights. It's 1.4 seconds. Can Limitless get his first victory here in the ARL F1 League? It looks like at the moment it's not going to happen, but Matty on older tyres than Limitless, and they are well and truly going off, as you've seen on board with other drivers, especially Noble. Can Limitless make the most of it? Ricky retaking 11th place, but this is really not the fight that we need to be looking at, as this is not for any points, unfortunately, for these guys, as they have not made their strategy work. But back now to the fight. Limitless is not near enough to Matty. It doesn't look like, coming down towards Cops and now Maggots and Beckett's. Limitless pushing for all he's worth to try and catch the Williams driver. But Matty, now coming through this complex of corners, has only one sector to go to take the first victory that Noble hasn't taken, and keep the run that Williams have, a Williams/Toro Rosso, I suppose, the teammate partnership of Matty and Noble going for God knows how many races. But Limitless is now 9/10 now towards the final few corners. Matty running slightly wide through Stowe. This is where Matty locked up last season and Limitless nearly took advantage. And here we go, coming down towards it. Matty's running slightly wide. Limitless so close indeed, right behind Matty, but it looks like Matty is going to take the victory here at Silverstone. He has taken his home victory, and I'm sure that means a lot to him. And Randy coming home in a brilliant third position. Couldn't keep Limitless behind him, but Limitless was just a class of his own, really. And to finish within a few tenths of the leader is just a brilliant drive. Noble, 5th place. I don't think we've heard that for a long time, not since Spa, as you said. So Fisi, 6th place. And Contadins coming home in 8th, a good result for him, after being able to somehow manage to keep those prime tyres actually working, as Trace looked like he couldn't keep his on the track after about 13 laps. So Contadins, a brilliant drive, and Ricky, just no points for him, it looks like. It looks like he was actually quite close to the points in the end.
Running uphill, I think.
And it looks like he may have nabbed 11th, but Matty took the victory, and it's the same. It's a Williams driver, but it's not Noble.
Yeah, first time this season that Noble hasn't been on the podium, so quite an interesting race again, quite a bit of action, and I guess you're going to take us through the results, Matt.
Yep, the results for the Silverstone Grand Prix. xMattyG taking the victory by 0.2 of a second from TRL Limitless, who just could not get past Randy in the end, with Randy coming home in a brilliant 3rd position, the final podium spot. With TRL Qualy finishing in 4th after his lag spike. He'll be probably thinking what could have been after that 6-7 second lag spike. Noble 299 finishing in 5th place, 10 points for him this afternoon, but having won every other race, I'm sure that's going to maybe make him feel a little bit better. Fizzy Fan coming home in a very strong 6th position and 8 points for him, with TRL Minty coming home in 7th in the Toro Rosso. The Contadins coming home in 8th after going God knows how many laps on those prime tyres. Mazy CZ in 9th place, who was actually fighting for the lead at one point after not pitting, and IBRX Callum coming home with the final points paying position. Jason, Ricky and Essie all missing out on the points, unfortunately, with Trace the only lap driver in 14th. Big Shot did not finish, and Ryan was the only driver not to start, with Macaulay taking the fastest lap of a 1:31.2. A very action-packed race for Fizzy, and very similar actually to the pre-season race in terms of the conditions.
It was. The rain came towards the end, but not just not as hard as it did in the pre-season race. But then we saw people sliding around, having to go in the full wets at the end. But it still created quite a bit of action in this race as well. So we're going to go through the Drivers' Championship now. Noble up front, 50-point gap down to Matty in 2nd, and he's got now a further 22-point gap to TRL Limitless in 3rd, extending actually thanks to his win there, Matty, despite Limitless having a great drive as well. So Randy and Ricky, the 2 McLaren drivers, in 4th and 5th, and then Macaulay moving above Big Shot player to up to 6th place. Fisi staying in 8th place, ahead of his teammate Trace in 9th, and then Minty in 18th now, after picking up a few further points today.
In 10th with 18 points, you mean?
Yep, sorry, I don't even know what I mean anymore, but then we got the Contadins picking up a few points to stay in 11th, Jason in 12th, and you can see the relegation.
You saw the rest. It was up there long
exactly.
enough, I'm pretty sure. And the Constructors' Championship, you can see Williams have more points than 2nd and 3rd put together, so it looks pretty unassailable, that lead at the moment, with McLaren and Toro Rosso going very close indeed. Only 4 points between them at the moment. McLaren winning that battle at this present point. Red Bull in 4th place with 64 points, 10 points ahead of Caterham in 5th. Ferrari with 39 points, and Sauber and Force India on a lowly 19 and 17 points, with Sauber going ahead of Force India after this race, thanks to Contadins and Mazy's performances. And I'm sure they'll be hoping for more points throughout the season. But the next race, it is the German Grand Prix. It's at the Nürburgring, so make sure you tune into that next week. And thank you very much, Fizzy, for commentating with me.
Yeah, no problem. It's been a great pleasure to be commentating alongside you once again, Matt, and I'm sure I'll see you at some point soon again.
It was a brilliant race, and I hope you guys will join in next week for the German Grand Prix. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. It looks pretty sunny, Fizzy, but there's rain in the air.
Could well be